so hype in chat already, and I see that that's what they want to do. Oh, look at that! And the race is already on the go. So the question is for chat is, for the hundreds and thousands of Randomizer fans, are you ready? Are you ready? Let's get ready to rando!
And they tell me I'm the loud one. Anyway, we have got started with a red rupee there, so already we're seeing money. Not necessarily what they wanted to see, but, you know, as we've said, the trollier the better. Give me all the money.
Oh, yeah. That's how you always start this one out, guys. And I have to say, are you not entertained, folks? Are you not entertained? How do you end this match today? With the tiebreaker match, just for all the marbles. And looks like both players are gonna, you know, opt to look for bombs because it's really important to get. Oh my God! Are you kidding me? Quarter magic is your first item, folks.
Well, that's going to make things a whole lot easier. Any sort of magic thing we find, bombos, medallions, ether medallions, fire rods, that all turns them into viable weapons because, you know, with regular magic, it's one of those things where, hey, you can't use it. Now with, you know, quarter magic, it's just machine gun mode.
I know folks like to use the usage of the word free seed, but it's a little bit too early for that, but it's pretty much free fire rod mode at this moment.
Yeah, machine gun fire rod, machine gun ice rod, you know. Take your pick. I personally am a fan of Cane of Burna being pretty soon. That makes things, you know, pretty easy and all, and no damage. Always fun. Defense is always nice.
And look at that. They already got bombs just from that first chest.
Yeah, explosives always going to be nice. At this point in the tournament, we've already described we need the bombs to get through the escape and all that. So we're not going to get into all the details. You know, if this is your first race, go ahead and ask in chat. We'll do our best to try and get you up to speed. But, you know, explosives needed, 3 extra chests. Hopefully they're good. Who knows?
Hopefully they have enough bombs to bomb all of Hyrule. As chat has already mentioned, Dark Magician mode.
Oh, wow. We have an early flute. We have got an early flute. You know what that means, everybody. First trip into Kakariko, we are getting everybody's favorite animal.
Oh, yes. Get ready for swag, everybody. Get ready for some swag.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And I see the question in chat, are keys in chests randomized? Yes, keys in chests are randomized. There are certain chests that have to contain keys, but their locations can be different depending on what's going on. But certain chests will always have to contain keys, just the nature of how the game works. You have to be able to progress through the dungeon.
It looks like, yeah, pretty good interesting strats here. Ninnyz opted for the more traditional NMG strat, and so did fcoughlin. So both players are pretty confident with their skills in doing the slashes on Big Ball Chain Guard.
Yeah, that's going to be quite fun. I always, you know, even just playing the game casually, I always have such a hard time killing that ball on Chain Guard. I'm the scaredy cat who goes back and just throws pots at it till it dies.
It's a good strat. It only takes 2, and even with 1, it helps you out. It reduces the amount of slashes you require.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's definitely fun. I do want to point out here that this is the beginning of one of the running joke themes here in Link to the Past. People chasing after Link, or items chasing after Link. You get Zelda, you get the old man, you get the treasure chest, you get the lumberjack, you get blind. So there's all kinds of things stalking Link throughout this entire game.
Now, it's interesting to see both players just making through their way through escape here. I want to see if there's any wall pumping skills they're going to use. Usually I know Ninnyz would probably do so. He's a usual NMG runner here. And I know fcoughlin Fred's not too shabby himself on this.
Yeah, the interesting thing about watching Fred play this is before this tournament started, he had never touched Link to the Past or Link to the Past Randomizer, so he learned it strictly for this tournament. And just making it here into the bracket stages tells you, you know, the improvement that's been seen.
Now, both of them are notorious for tampering with the validation chest. If you remember, Ninnyz in his last race hammered it, and fcoughlin, everyone remembers when he bombed the...
I was on call for the bomb race. It was hilarious because Fred bombed it. 10 minutes later, his opponent, Adirondack Rick, bombed it. They didn't coordinate it at all. In fact, when we told Rick that Fred bombed it, he was like, wait, what? It was the best thing. And then, in this last race, Fred and Ninnyz both hammered it. They actually agreed to co-hammer that one. I was actually in the IRC when that happened. But they agreed to co-hammer the chest.
Co-hammering. Well, I guess you could call that a collaboration. Now let's see what happens here. Oh, the first bomb. We'll take to first look at Ninny's side of what he gets from escape from this bomb wall here. 3 items. Oh my god!
Well, we have got the red tunic. And funny story about this, every time I watched Fred when he was practicing this, like the first 5 or 6 seeds he did, he always got super early red tunic. So the running joke in his chat that it was the Fred tunic and it only showed up early in seeds he was playing. Because at that point, no one was getting it super early.
Yeah. Well, getting the red mail early is really quite nice. It is one of the greatest safety items here in the game.
Yeah, and I know for a fact that Fred is very happy to get early defense, and I'm pretty sure Ninnyz is going to be too. The other thing to take a look at here is we already have 140 rupees, so that means Bottle Vendor is definitely on the table.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Only takes 100 rupees. And I was hoping for Snake Heart.
The Snake Heart chest, yeah. See, I'm waiting for the day when we get one of these where it's just regular vanilla Link to the Past. I want to see vanilla Link to the Past, and I want it to be like, you know, someone who runs no major glitches and who knows what's going on. I just want to see that in a randomizer.
Look at all that magic. Oh, it looked like Fred's just heading into Lost Woods, not even looking to see what is in the Lumberjack Cave here.
Interesting route variation.
Now let's see if it's needed. It looks like a heart container.
I don't think the tip of a heart.
Yeah?
All right, Fearless Decoy. How you can tell the difference between Sanctuary Heart and any other heart container is very simple. The Sanctuary Heart will give you a full heart refill. All the other heart containers will not.
Aha! So, looks like it's just another little piece of love in the Lost Woods here.
Hey, we're putting a little love in your heart. We can do that.
Most definitely. I'm pretty sure chat already knows you need 4 pieces of heart to make 1 heart container, other than the boss hearts that usually get dropped in Randomizer.
Yeah, so now the fun part here is we are going to begin our excavation and exploration of Kakariko Village. So again, this is where a lot of chests are, and this is, especially in this version of the logic, you'll tend to see, you know, the beginning of your progression items here. And the fun part about this, and the way that I've seen how this game works, is the game tends to point you in a direction with the progression items. So say, for example, I'm just going to use the bow as an example. We get the bow here that tends to push you towards Eastern Palace.
Oh, and looks like we're not going to have Silver's Ganon in this fight.
Well, there just goes half of the fun. Can we at least get Master Sword Ganon, please, as we get the fighter shield here in the back room?
Well, Silver's is always nice because, yeah, it definitely saves you a lot of time. And looks like we get our little fighter shield already.
Yeah, we got silver arrows, we got red tunic. You know what other light came out? We're gonna get butter sword down on the well. Geez, come on, can we have a little bit of troll here? I don't want go mode to be in the first 40 minutes. Come on.
And looks like Fred's already waiting to use that ocarina. So that's in time for some swag deck moments very soon, folks. Look at that! We find the red shield! Progressive shields, everybody.
Although progressive logic isn't on, it just happens to be the way we're finding them.
And I'm thinking we're going to stand up now for the Swag Duck Anthem, everyone.
Here we go, everybody. Get your swag ducks ready. I know I'm completely off key there.
And everyone's going to have a Swag Duck Anthem with Ninnyz here. Virtual high five, everyone.
All of the duck.
Oh, everyone wants to hear me do this, but I'll do it for you guys really quick then. Swag, 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 duck. Swag, 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 duck. I'm gonna make you wake up from your windmill. We need you once again to save Hyrule. Thank you once again, you my swag friend.
That just might have been the best thing to happen this evening. And the other thing to take a look at is all of the rupees that we are finding here in Kakariko Village. Early Zora could potentially be a play with all of this money.
And yeah, it's really good. With all that money, you know, the optional push is usually to head to Zora. But the thing of it is, logic doesn't kind of let you get there unless you at least have a lift item or the flippers.
Yeah, true, but it's just one of those things where with that money, that makes Zora an absolute play there. I'm not going back to the library, though, because, you know, someone just leaving their money lying around. I mean, don't get me wrong, if I saw $20 on the library shelf, I'd be doing the absolute, I'd be going back and getting it, but then again, I'm cheap.
Both players probably gonna, flute, obviously. Almost synchronized fluting there.
Is that a new Olympic event, synchronized fluting?
Might just be for this seed.
Yeah, we do have a route variation, though. Ninnyz is going to go get his good pedestrian on, a good Samaritan on. He's going to help the old man back to his house, as Fred deciding, well, I am the old man. I'm just going to go hang out by the swamp.
Now, let's see what Old Man Loves gives us today.
But first, we got to get ourselves out of the dark, and hopefully we don't get trolled by dead rocks. Nope, no trolling by dead rocks. Oh! Apparently we usurped the old man from Pokemon Gold and Silver here, getting the running shoes.
And I always like to say, what are those?
But that's going to be a huge advantage here for Ninnyz, if nothing else, just to, you know, turn this into, as the chat's been saying, mode everything. Speedrun mode, because we now officially have boots.
Oh yes, and you're going to see all the spin speeds and every kind of technique here utilizing those boots. And that's a really quick save quit, because Ninnyz already knows he has no way up. Now it's time for him to check where he normally would check is straight down here. The dam or the mini Molder Cave. Oh, look at that!
Remember what I was saying about Zora? Like I said, the game pushes you in a direction. Just happens to help when the commentators guess correctly.
Oh yeah. We most definitely knew when that Flippers was coming, Zora's definitely going to be in play. And look at that! Fred's going to jump in, take a little sneak peek at what Lake Helia Island is here. Probably going to do Hobo as well.
Yeah, I was going to say probably heading right over to the Hobo.
Oh yeah.
The game just keeps wanting to put a little love in our hearts there, because all I'm seeing is heart pieces.
Well, the game has to show a little bit of love. They know that this game is all for all the marbles here.
This is, and we have just the right amount of progression items to make this fun. So far, we've got flippers, we've got boots, just the right amount of fun. And our Hobo is going to give us...
Oh!
Ooh, wow! Hobo's giving us a really sharp, pointy stick.
Definitely really nice to see that temper sword, also known as the Cheeto stick.
Well, now we got Fred Tunic and Fred Sword, so...
Yes, most definitely. And looks like he's going for the same play Ninnyz is here. He's probably going to be really happy about this one, though.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to be always happy to find the Pegasus boots, but Ninnyz is going to be right here picking up the... going to get the boomerang, but more importantly, get the flippers. And oh yeah, we were so excited about everything else we found. The Magic Cape was also found, so even if you didn't find that sword upgrade, you could get to Agahnim. One, not that he was needed necessarily.
Yeah, but usually those kind of signs tell you, is this another Agahnim seed?
More like pain in the Agahnim, but anyway, enough talking about things like that. Let's discuss, hey, Ice Rod Cave coming up.
Oh yeah. This is usually the play where once you get the boots or the flute, they would head over here, generally speaking. So let's see what Ninnyz gets today.
Yeah, the big thing is I always beelined over here as a kid, just because from the most thing, I loved killing everything with the Ice Rod. Like my favorite thing to do as a kid was to kill the Moldorms in Desert Palace with the Ice Rod.
Oh yeah, that's really nice too. Now, I was wondering, 'cause some people actually used Ice Rod on Lammolas, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Because, yeah, you could get the Ice Rod if you wanted to quite early.
All right, so we got Swamp and Turtle Rock are pendants so far. Swamp being the green pendant, so a Turtle Rock pendant, that is good for our runners, and that's bad for us and those of us who are cheering for a required pedestal. Because Turtle Rock pendant means there's a very few amount of items that could be on the pedestal at this point. I'm pretty sure we're just down to a medallion that is not the one required to get into Turtle Rock.
Yep, and it can't be Red Cane either, because you need to use it to get in.
Right, can't be Red Cane, can't be Ice Rod, Fire Rod, or Hammer.
Yeah. And let's see what Ninnyz decides to do here.
Yeah, but Frad's going to go ahead and looks like resetting. I'm not quite sure where he's going now. Oh, he's going to check Lumberjack Cave now. He's doing it at this point instead of... Okay, that's what he's doing.
Yep, and it makes sense because you have boots, kind of helps out a little bit. So, yeah, why not? And now we get to see what's over in Zora's domain with Ninnyz. Getting all the inside intel here.
Hey, absolutely, and this could be a huge thing. It could not be a huge thing. And I know that's Tower of Hera is a red pendant. I did see Eastern Palace as crystal number 5. Desert Palace is also a crystal. So that's what we have going on there.
Yeah, both players are really showing us what we have to do here, which is nice. I always hope that they show us the map so we can see what they have to do.
Yep, and the other thing that now tells us is with both Palace of Darkness and Eastern Palace being crystals, the bow could potentially be a pedestal item, as Zora is telling us to put a little love in our hearts as well. I'm sensing a theme here.
And I think Ninnyz is, let's see what he does. I mean, still that bonk rock he can do here.
Yeah, at this point we've got the bonk rock, which we can do, which Ninnyz is going for right now. We have got the option for, we can't do Tower of Hera, so we could delve into, at this point, Eastern Palace is really the only thing we can delve into dungeon-wise. We don't have access to the book or the myths to get into, to get into desert. So yeah, it's like I said, the game tends to force you in a direction. It looks like we're having two distinct options here. Ninnyz going for Eastern Palace, Fred going for Agahnim.
Oh yeah. Now let's see if this is actually required or not. We won't know until we figure out how many items you can still get in the overworld here.
This is one of those situations where the gamble, if correct, will pay off huge. If incorrect, then Fred's putting himself in a huge hole right now.
Ooh, the shovel.
Shovel is very interesting. So Sahasrahla's back room is going to handle the shovel, and that does unlock one item. Now, it's very interesting if that's going to be a progression item. We've seen it happen before. Or if it's just, you know, who knows. But this is a very interesting routing choice here, and this is what Randomizer is all about, is making these interesting routing choices and seeing if your gut feeling pays off, or if, well, it was fun while it lasted.
Oh, most definitely. Oh, and looks like it's the book. And that might route change Ninnyz here, because now he has access to desert.
Well, it's still not necessarily going to be a huge thing, because he still only has access. He can't complete desert right now.
Oh, but that's kind of...
There's the regular old power gloves. So that's another interesting thing, because that's going to open up a little bit more of the world.
Most definitely. And let's see if he finds any fire source while he's here. There's still 2 items in Desert Palace.
Yep, so we have to figure out what both of those items are. The other items are going to be keys, the map, and the compass. So once we find 2 items, we'll know what's going on here, just a little bit anyway. We're going to start with the map. So seeing map there is good because it means 90%-ish of the rest of the items you're going to find are going to be at least allow us to progress through the dungeon, like this key, for example, or are going to be the items that are actually in the dungeon proper.
Mm-hmm. So the big key definitely has to be over here, without a doubt.
By process of elimination, yes.
And we looks like we found one item already, so the big chest could either have the item, or Lamolas may have the item.
Because we know this is going to be the big key. And we do have an Agahnim fight happening over on the left-hand side of your screen. Unfortunately, no bug nets. We don't have any Swaganim strats going on, but, we'll play ball.
Yeah. And I know Chad already knows this answer, but still, how many blue balls do you think Aganim's going to do today?
The same thing we do every night, Haye. Try to take over the world.
Oh! Ooh. Oh my lord.
That is gigantic. That opens up a whole lot more of the world all of a sudden.
With the hook in hand and the gloves. Wow. You got a lot to look for in Death Mountain now.
Yeah, at this point, there is only really 2 items that I can think of, or maybe 3 that make this a worthwhile play for Fred. Titan's Mitts, Moon Pearl, Mirror.
And let's see if this was necessary. Let's see what's on the... Oh, it's a fetch quest item.
Mushroom, okay.
Wow.
Could be relevant, could not. This is very interesting. It's always adorable watching the bunny hold up the mushroom.
Ah, this is interesting so far, these fetch quest items. It paid through for Ninnyz with that shovel. Now let's see if this mushroom pays through, because you can flute right over and just drop it off.
Yeah, let's see what Agahnim Cave has for us. Just more putting a little love in our hearts again. The game really wants me to sing the song.
And looks like Fred just flutes and flutes back. That's a good, interesting choice. Whoa, you still got to leave one screen though.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can't do it that way.
Now he's got to come back. There you go. Ah!
Oh, I did say Titan's Mitt, so wow, both gambles paying huge dividends for our runners here. Fred picking up the Titan's Mitt, where Ninnyz went and got the shovel. Wow, this is... Ow.
Yes. Now let's see if Ninnyz can get back to that side, because he's gonna have to get to that pyramid in order to get to that mushroom, though. But we'll see if he gets any help here. He'll probably need at least, I don't know. He can go the long trek way, but he would then need the hammer, though.
Yeah, and I do have one question here at this point. Because we get all the jokes about that you see at the end game credits, but by trading in the mushroom for the Titan's Mitt, does that mean you're getting steroids?
I don't know. That's how you get steroids. But oh, bombos! Now with that, it kind of gives you the option of doing Ice Palace if you have the Titan's Mitt, and you're not really opted to have to do anything with a bunny death or anything in this. The logic doesn't require that. Oh, powder!
Powder opens up Batman's cave.
Mmm.
And Fred now making his way over to Sahasrahla's hut. Hey, was that a bee in a bottle?
Yep, it's definitely the most favorite coveted bee in the bottle. And that would be our first bottle by chance.
Yeah, that is really awesome. It also opens up St. Kid, but Fred going to go ahead and pick up the shovel here, which is going to unlock the book. Not that he needs the book at this point, because he has access to desert. Well, he would have access to desert through the... let me rephrase that. If he had the mirror, he'd be fine. He doesn't have the mirror, so he technically still needs the book. There we go. Blah.
And Ninnyz opting to take a look at what the ledge items, just blue rupees here. And on to Spiral Cave here, everybody.
Yeah, so right now, like I said, the big advantage that Ninnyz has is that hook shot that he got from Desert, but Fred going to kill Agahnim to get the mushroom to get the Titansmiths. Titansmiths are a required item here, so that does make Agahnim 1 not required, because you can get to that item through other means. But definitely Fred taking the time to kill Agahnim 1 here pretty early on the seed is a huge, huge advantage. And now we're going to go ahead and take a look here for what the sick kid has got for us.
Oh.
Just arrows.
Yep, nothing too exciting. Now let's see if Ninnyz opts to play to go to Agahnim now, because he's kind of out of options. So maybe Agahnim is required after all. But he didn't opt to search into Eastern Palace at all, though. Not even one step. Neither player has, haven't they?
No, neither player has gone into Eastern. And at this point, though, after Agahnim, you're going to be pretty much forced into Eastern, because there are very, very few locations left that the Moon Pearl could be in.
Yep. And based by our analysis of both players visiting both areas already, yeah, Moon Pearl probably is going to have to be close by, or at least Mirror or something.
Right, because Mirror gives us access to a couple more locations that could house the Moon Pearl. Me personally, again, I mentioned the trolliness. I want to see Mirror in Eastern to Moon Pearl in... I don't necessarily want to say buried with Moldorm in Tower of Hera. Let's say the checkerboard cave up in northern part of the desert.
And so far, it's just like I want to say both players are pretty even at this moment.
I would give Ninnyz the advantage here, just because Ninnyz has already gone through and taken a look at all the chests that he can get up in Death Mountain with using the hook shot. So I would put Ninnyz in the lead ever so slightly right now.
Now, the reason why I say a little differently is because someone has the Titansmith. So when he visits it, he can cover 2 things at one time. If he finds that pearl, it kind of gives him a little bit of time save as well.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. It's just one of those fun little things that figuring out who's in the lead early on in the seed, it's always fun to debate, and you're never going to get it right because, oh, hey, someone found this, someone found that, someone found this, someone found that.
It only takes one item to make a huge difference in randomizers sometimes.
Yes, it does. Kind of like that hook shot that Fred just found.
And let's see where I'm obviously sure he's going to go into Death Mountain here. Yeah.
As I said, the game pushes you in directions, and going ahead and going up to Death Mountain here with the hook shot and with the Titansmith makes things a little bit easier for Fred, but it's the absolute, again, the game is pushing you in this direction. We know, based on everything we've seen, that the game is pushing both runners towards half Eastern Palace, because we can't complete that without the bow. Yep. So that's where the game is pushing us, is Eastern Palace.
Yep. Yeah, because that pearl kind of limits them to anything else, but once they get that pearl, they pretty much have access to just about everywhere in the Dark World. They can get just about everywhere. At least moving wise, they can get there. Maybe not get every single item in the overworld.
Yeah, but Fred's gonna go ahead and pick up an explosive medallion there.
It's always nice to see bombos.
Especially if Bombos is the required pendant to get into Misery Mire.
Oh yeah.
Fred looking like he's trying to set up for the bomb jump here.
Oh, he does it perfectly.
Get it beautifully.
Yeah. Very nice. And Ninny's gonna get this fetch quest item, as we all know, ends up becoming your Titansmith.
Yeah, we got a blue rupee up on the floating island, so nothing needed there as Bunny gets mushroom. And I'm not going to lie, I'm super happy that both of our runners have boots going through Spiral Cave, because there is nothing worse than bootless Spiral Cave. It is so long and slow.
Oh yes, most definitely. Hence why I call that cave the Slowpoke Cave when you don't have boots.
Hey, we're getting all kinds of Pokemon references in that's too.
You get some hype. You get to hear the bunny music a little bit longer as soon as both players find Moon Pearl. That ends all that fun, but the fun still lives.
Hey, bunny music is the best. But there's the Titan's Mitt for Ninnyz as well.
Yeah.
So Fred, after picking up his bee in a bottle, gonna go to get the arrow. So could you say he's taking an arrow to the bee?
I think Ninnyz is just trying to get some intel. Or nope, he realized he doesn't have Pearl here. So he's like, nope, going somewhere else.
Yeah, Fred's going to check Ice Rod Cave, which he hasn't checked yet. And again, game's pushing you in one direction. Interesting, Ninnyz opting to save it. Float it up mountain, save and quit. Almost like he's not quite sure where he wants to go.
Well, he has options because he has Titan's Mitt now. He's trying to figure out what he can do with it. So I think he's going to go to King's Tomb, obviously, now. And then after that, we'll see what play he has to do. For both of us, we know Eastern's probably the place you need to go at this moment.
So apparently, I just want to point this out, that apparently not only is the chat rioting for my arrow to the bee joke, I have already received 3 messages saying I'm fired for making the arrow to the bee joke. And I'm sorry for absolutely none of it, as we have both of our runners going into Eastern Palace at this point.
Yep. It's nice to use some hookshot strats too here.
Yeah, hookshot's going to be nice because it allows you to skip one of the rooms here, and you can just skip going around. Just hookshot right over to the chest.
Mm-hmm. That works always really well. And with boots, this goes pretty quick here too. Oh, and look at that!
There's the Moon Pearl. First chest in Eastern.
Oh yeah. Ah, there's that Moon Pearl.
Yeah, so that definitely opens up all the Dark World, and I do agree with what Fred's doing here. You're here, you might as well take out the rest of the chest in Eastern. You know you're going to have to come back here eventually,
yeah.
But on the off chance that the bow is here, it allows you to finish it.
And look at that, early big key. But it looks like Fred's not opting to finish. After grabbing that big key, he's like, nah, I'm not looking at it anymore. I'm going straight to maybe Village Outcast.
With excuse me, with the Titan Smiths having access to it, Village of Outcasts is definitely the easiest place to go. You get the chess game, you get Sea House. You definitely get a lot of stuff there in the Village of the Outcasts, and that would be, I don't play the game, but that would be where my suggestion would go.
Oh, look at this! Ninny's going for the same play!
So the sync is real right now, even though we are losing some frames on Fred's side. But that's okay. We're fine with losing some frames as long as we, can keep the gameplay close.
And oh, look, he gets another peek look here. Now we get to see everything again.
Yep. So the other of the 5-6 crystals, Misery Mire was just number 6, and we have got some green goop in the treasure chest game. Or what reminds me of, it's a glass of Ecto Cooler.
And let's see what She-Shape House has for us today. 50 rupees. Interesting.
Makes sense thematically that you're getting, money from the place that houses Thieves Town.
Let's see what this doorless hut gives us today.
The only hut I like is Pizza Hut, so...
Oh! Well, looks like it was Quake for us today.
Yep, So we have a Ninnyz entering into Thieves Town. Fred's probably going to be falling right back in, but Fred going ahead and checking that hut gives him, one other weapon to use, although not that you see anyone ever use the Quake medallion in actual play.
Now, wherever we see people run through this place, they all have different strategies, so let's see how they navigate through Thieves Town here. Oh, looks like they're both using the same route here.
So here's the most important question going into Thieves Town. If you haven't seen this before, I'm not the only one who makes horrible jokes here. Ganon has some, the uncle has some stuff, and Blind usually makes a bad pun or two. So here's the question is, which one of the commonly seen bad dad jokes is Blind gonna give us today?
I know. Blind seems to have a lot of eye doctor jokes, so maybe it might be that one today.
I'm gonna go for the pizza joke.
Ah. That might work.
Yeah, chat getting in their votes as well. We've got some people on my side for the pizza joke. We've got Bright Future. We've got the bug joke. Pointless Pencils is in there. So go ahead and keep track of what you said. And when we get there, you can mark off 1 on the fake fantasy points meter if you get it right.
Yes. Looks like chat's really into it today, though. Well, I know they have already seen some exciting races, so hopefully this one lives up to it. And so far, I think so. Both players are in the same dungeon. And we're pretty much, no crystals yet, so interesting.
Yeah, well, Thieves Town has really been the first one they've been able to actually complete.
Yes. And it's, generally this is the one that you can complete because it doesn't really require too much to damage Blind. You just pretty much need a sword, and all different kinds of sword do the same amount of damage on Blind.
Yeah, see, those are always the fun bosses, and Zelda games have a tendency of having at least one boss that does things like that. The mechanic started back in Zelda 2, actually, when you had 2 bosses that didn't matter what your weapon type was. One of them you had to reflect his own magic back on him, the boss of Palace Fort Karok, and then the final boss in Zelda 2 didn't matter what your sword was, like Blind just took a number of hits. In the case of Zelda 2, it was 8 hits. In the case of Blind, it's 12.
Oh, yes. And now, we'll see if they do get that hammer here, because that's pretty much the item they need to complete this. But if you keep the item checks in here, you might know you might not even need to get to that big chest.
Yep, and the hammer is required to get to that big chest because it's surrounded by, I'm not sure what the official name is, I just call them the Hyrulean version of Whack-A-Mole.
Ninnyz. Just remember to lift that skull pot. It does.
There's a switch to hit. All right, here we go. Here we go. Joke incoming.
And here comes the incoming joke, everyone. Oh, look at the pizza joke.
I have 2 for 2 tonight. I call these new Palace Moon Pro, and I call it the pizza joke. Yes!
Definitely made the right calls today. And as my friend Alvin would say, got him.
Got him! And no, Rice Ball Gaming, I'm a warlock. There's a difference.
And look at that. Both players will get their first crystal. And they're pretty much looking like they're in sync there.
I think so.
And now Ninnyz goes down here to check out what he has to do.
Yeah. So now here's the interesting question, because there's not a whole lot of places left that we can really look and explore for a bunch of, excuse me, locations, because we can't really complete a lot. At this point, we have a lot of the Dark World to explore. We've got the digging game, we've got Hype Cave. But after that, let's say that all of those yield no fruit. Which dungeon is the next one you would go into?
This is a good question. Well, it depends. I personally would, at this point, I think Pod is pretty much what you have, right?
pod, or depending on what the medallion is, you can go mire.
Oh yeah, that's true. But pod yields more chests at this moment. Mire only has 2.
True. So yeah, again, it's all a matter of routing here and what the Dark World is going to give to us. Well, first we're going to go ahead and check out Stump Kid here.
It looks like they're going to sync up again. Virtual high five, everybody. It looked like DT says Ice Palace. You know what I say about ice. Ice is quite nice.
DT, don't you have tracking to be doing right now?
He's just tracking the memes today, though.
Yeah, they have been strong.
And looks like we're gonna get some hype K for both players at the same time. Look at this.
All right, let's get some hype, chat. Let's get the hype. It is real.
Hyping at the same time. Both players. Oh!
You're in hype case.
Synchronicity hype. Synchronicity hype. Hammer!
This hype cave is insane.
And mirror shield.
Mirror shield. Wow, the hypiest of hype caves. Mirror, hammer, mirror shield. It is real. It is on. This seed just opened up immensely.
Oh my goodness! And they can now do. They can even do swamp now if they wanted to, but it's not necessary.
No, swamp
does hold quite a few items though. But let's see if Ninnyz. Oh wow, Ninnyz is gonna do this. This is a gamble. Ooh, this is definitely a gamble by Ninnyz, just to see. But there are a lot of tests here, so maybe
there are 6 items here, but I'm not sure. Ooh, Fred getting trapped by a dead rock. There we go. Nope.
Oh, you can't get out of that one.
You look tasty. I want your legs.
Those dead rocks and those cabbages from the sky is giving you a bit of trouble here.
So I find this interesting. Fred gonna go ahead and use his newly found mirror prowess to go ahead up to Death Mountain, while Ninnyz is not quite sure what was going on there. It looked like he decided to swamp, decided against swamp.
No, I think he realized when he got in there, he heard the music, and it was like, oh, it's a pendant dungeon.
Ninnyz going to ice?
Oh, this possibly could be. He could finish it now. Now the fact that he does have hammer.
More importantly, though, Bombos. He's going to have to Bombos his way through, but he can't finish it. Wow, Ninnyz doing early Ice Palace. This... Ooh. I actually like this play, because ice is a crystal. Even if you don't, find anything here, it's still a crystal. You still have to do it. You have all the tools to do it, so why not get it out of the way?
Oh,
there's the bow.
Oh, was in Super Bunny Cave.
So that opens up the rest of Eastern Palace to Fred and Palace of Darkness. Now, the interesting thing about Palace of Darkness is I'm not sure Ninny's capability with doing the dark rooms. I know Fred at all costs tries to avoid doing the dark rooms. And oh, hey, look at that. Ether is Turtle Rock. Not that we care, because Turtle Rock's a pendant. Yep. But it's there.
Yeah.
So we now know that by default, this cannot be a pedestal required.
Oh, and there's the ether.
There's the ether. Because we have all 3 of the medallions and we have the bow. So this, unfortunately, cannot be a pedestal required seed.
Yeah. And there's your fire rod.
There is the fire rod. So for those of you who just said fire rod and Turtle Rock, you were wrong.
Now, fire source in hand. Deserts, you're able to finish desert now.
Yeah, so Fred definitely has the capability of taking care of the 2 Light World Crystal Dungeons. Coming over here to Misery Mire, interesting call here. He's definitely going to probably get these 2 chests, finish off Desert more than likely, and then he has the option of doing Mire. The unfortunate thing is he can't...
Oh!
He's a happy man now. There's his lantern.
Yep, here's your lamp. And I think the only item left now is Red Cane, right?
Cane of Samaria is the only other item left for Go mode, yes.
Oh, yeah. Looks like Death Mountain and Hype Cave had everything today.
Yeah, Hype Cave had 2. We had Hookshot Cave having Fire Rod and Ether Medallion. Again, putting some more love in our hearts here. This seed is all about the love.
Now this is going to be an interesting play. I think finding that red king is still going to be an important thing here. And
for
has
those,
many options.
For those in chat wondering about Cane of Samaria, Cane of Samaria is required to defeat Misery Mire, and it also could potentially be required if you have to go right side Ganon's tower.
Yeah. It's interesting to see how Fred did this, because some players would opt to use the portal and pod, and then mirror so that you can handle both of these dungeons in the same sequence.
That's definitely the way I would definitely have gone about it. But again, I don't play this game, so I'm going to sit here and trust the people who I see here. Although it could just be one of those, oops, I realized I messed it up, and I'm just going to run with what I've got.
Yeah. But I don't know. Maybe he hasn't seen that play yet. After all, you mentioned earlier, he started Rando, and that's where he began to learn all these tricks that we have for Randomizer.
Yeah, so far, Ice Palace not bearing any fruits for Ninnyz here. But again, as we said, it is a required crystal, so that's fine. And we found the map and the compass already for Fred, so, well, this is going to be very interesting.
Oh yeah, he's got the big key, alright, so let's see if this big chest has anything cool. Oh, and that looks like just a regular heart container. No sank heart, folks.
No sanctuary heart. Now we're going to go ahead and continue our way through. Now, interesting note, we were talking about Fred and Dark Rooms earlier. All the Light World dungeons, Eastern Palace, Desert Palace, and Tower of Hera, if they had any Dark Rooms, and as you saw that room there in the Eastern Palace, that room is always going to be lit up whether or not you have the lamp. The the Dark World dungeons are the ones where the lamp will not. You need the lamp to light them up. Excuse me. Hey, there's a downgrade.
Yeah, he does have an option to pick up that heart. The other one has a heart too, so he should be fine. Yeah, looks like Ninnyz is pretty much finished here in Ice Palace. Just need to collect this last chest here. Use that key is the best option.
Can I point out how much fun it is to open chests in Ice, or open doors in Ice Palace by pulling the tongues of the statues?
Hmm. Yeah, that is kind of fun, though. That's the only way to open those doors, right?
Yes, I believe so. Interesting thing, that chest you were talking about, Ninny just opted to walk over the spikes, so I'm not sure. I don't know all the way the routing here works in Ice Palace, so I'm not sure whether or not it's he knew he was skipping something he didn't need, or what, because I wasn't paying attention to every single chest, because there's a lot of chests in Ice Palace.
Yeah, I think he counted the items, so he knows that. But that might be it, because it was going to end up becoming Big Key, and that would lead to a compass, and that's probably it.
If we're going ahead and using the Bombos medallion to destroy Cold Stare's hard outer shell to get to the gooey, creamy center, because that's the best part. Isn't it the best part of the candies is the rich caramel center?
Maybe so. And we're going to be tied up in crystals here. Just two different kinds of crystals, though.
Yes, one's frosty, cold, and delicious, and the other one's, well, not.
Yeah. And Ninnyz did keep track of what the things could be, so that's why he didn't look at those things.
Yep, fair enough, fair enough. So Fred now with the Fire Rod, looks like he's going to be going and doing Skull Woods next, which, it's a shorter dungeon. Seems like the right idea.
Yep. He definitely knew what he's doing. And now let's see what Ninnyz does. Probably, I would think maybe Death Mountain, the rest of it. Yep.
Yep.
And then he too will have lots of options now because he's gonna get his bow up here and everything. Fire rod source. Let's see what he does from here.
Well, we're going to start off with some key strategies here.
Yeah.
We have got the first key in the Skull Woods. I always love these treasure chests that trigger pit traps. You know, that's fine, Vinny, but if you're designing the dungeon, wouldn't you trigger the pit trap directly in front of the chest as you're opening it?
That'd be interesting, alright.
I mean, dungeon logic would dictate that that's what you would do. I mean, I know I play Dungeons and Dragons 4. I know when I'm designing dungeons for my players to go through, all my pit traps are, you know, all my traps are in front of the treasure chests.
Ah. Looks like another heart container, but no sank heart, folks.
It's the little things like sank heart that get us excited here in the booth.
And it looks like Ninnyz is opting to take a look into Hera quickly just to see what he gets up. Nope, saw that compass. I'm not taking that.
Well, he is up in the area, so I mean, it's not a bad choice. It's an interesting choice.
Yeah, he's going to take a sneak peek. There's either going to be a small key, and that means the big key has to be in that basement down there, otherwise he can't move forward.
Right, which means he can't do anything because...
no fire source!
Right.
And that's why he's going out.
Fred getting himself stuck in the statue room there, so he has to mirror out, unfortunately.
And this is right. Ninnyz jumps down here. He's going to use the bottom portal. And this is where he's going to find Bo.
So Fred going to go ahead and continue on his searching here in Skullwoods and acquire the large key. Or oversized unlocking device, if you want to call it that.
It's always nice to see vanilla big key.
Yep. So at this point, I mean, this would be the point in time where we would be checking the pedestal. However, I'm pretty sure at this point Fred knows pedestal cannot be required as Ninnyz is acquiring the bow. Speaking of acquired and required and ired and mired and sired and I can't think of any more words that end in that sound.
Yeah. Bo's here and he's going to get his fire rod here if he goes into that cave, but let's see what he does first here.
And there's the machine gun fire rod strats we were talking about at the beginning with all that quarter magic. Fred's just like whoosh, 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 whoosh.
Yep. Just burn everything.
Yep. I'm not sure if that's the exact sound a fire rod makes, but that's what we're going with. Whoosh, 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 whoosh.
It just burns everything to death here. And then he's getting a little bit jellied here. Oh, he's like, that was worth it. Worth every single zap that I have in my body.
Shocking revelation, the fire rod's in that chest.
And let's see what Mothula drops today. Ah, compass.
Just a directional device.
And Ninnyz is probably heading into Palace Darkness, probably.
Yeah, pod and Eastern, except game pushes you in directions. Bow pushes you to pod and Eastern. I like the call here from Ninnyz here, going ahead, picking up Palace of Darkness, then finishing up Eastern Palace right away.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely a combination. You can take care of both in one swoop here.
Fred's going to go ahead and finish off Skullwoods here to just go ahead and get the last chest he needs. And if this doesn't have the item, then you got to go get some big chest action.
Oh, and it is!
Cane of Samaria.
He's in go mode now, folks.
All right, everybody, get those orbs in chat. Go mode has been activated. Now, the interesting thing about the Cane of Samaria there in Skullwoods is Ninnyz is over here. He's going to do Palace of Darkness. Then he's going to do Eastern Palace. So he's going to be pretty far behind when it comes to the Cane of Samaria. Not that he's already done Ice Palace. That definitely helps him out. But Fred having Cane of Samaria, that's going to allow him to go right here to Misery Mire. He knows he can get in, and the Quake Medallion is the required one to get in here to Misery Mire. So unfortunately, we're not going to get a bird toss.
Nope. Fortunately, no bird toss. Now, it's not really that bad for Ninnyz, because in this dungeon in particular, you still have to find the big key no matter what, because Pod requires a big key in order for you to finish it. And generally that key is usually hard to find. It's usually buried deep within the dungeon.
Yep, same thing here. Misery Mire can also be an absolute pain, because there's only 2 items, as we said earlier, but there are an absolute ton of chests.
Yeah, the only time save I can see so far for Fred here is his Ice Palace is definitely going to be a lot faster because he doesn't have to look for anything.
Right, he can just do speedrun mode and go.
Yeah, that's the huge time save for him there.
Yep.
Yeah, but Ninnyz still has to look for this big key. So, yeah, he's still doing all the right plays here to find it.
Anyhow, we've got a compass find for Ninnyz, and he's going to drop down the hole as Fred is going to continue his way through Misery Mire. Now, I'm not going to lie, playing through this game as a kid, I hated Misery Mire more than I hated Turtle Rock.
Oh, no love for Misery Mire. I guess it puts you out of your misery then.
Not that we can tell what's going on, though, as we seem to have hit a pause button here on Fred's side. I am sure that has nothing to do with our fine tech people behind the scenes and everything to do with the source quality. So we're going to figure that out here, but as we do, we've got more Palace of Darkness here, as Ninnyz is going to be running through bumper beetles. So we will get you an update on what's going on with Fred as soon as we have it. As it is, Ninnyz getting more small keys, unfortunately, not the unlocking devices that he wants. And we do have some dark rooms here.
Yep, and it looks like Fred is back.
Fred is back. Now, interesting thing in the dark rooms there for Ninnyz is there are certain items that will show up, like the red rupees, and other items that will not show up. So what that first chest was in that basement, I have no idea.
Probably some dungeon item, though. And looks like, yeah,
it was the big key.
There you go. He knows the rest of this place is going to be items, so unfortunately he doesn't have the inside information that those items won't be something that he requires. So he's going to look, though. But not too bad. There's just only 2 more chests here, and then the big chest. They should all be items.
Yeah, so that is at least, potentially good for Ninnyz, as we're seeing some dark maze navigation here.
Yeah, looks like he bombos to clear out the enemies, so he has a safer trek here.
Yep. Now, I would like to point out here that Fred Coughlin's stream is sponsored by Microsoft PowerPoint for all of your slide piece presentations. Unfortunately, Fred, if you're going to give us a PowerPoint presentation, that's fine. But you got to work on your transition screens. This stopping and starting and stopping and starting and stopping and starting ain't doing it for me.
Now, Ninnyz just going to get to this big chest here because this is the last thing he needs. And we're going to see a Viddy fight with some silver arrows, looks like, from Fred.
We got a Pizza Heart and a Silver Arrows Vitreous fight. So,
yep.
Silver Arrows makes Vitreous extremely trivial.
Oh yeah, only takes 2.
It takes 2, baby. It takes 2, baby. I'm not gonna finish the song.
I don't know if chat wants you to.
I have a feeling if I do, chat's about to riot.
And look at Kenny. I know. It's all the face palming. Oh no! Don't get him started, boys. Don't get him started.
Yeah, don't encourage me, but I will say that TGE night with karaoke, karaoke night with TGE. Excuse me. Let's get this correct. Karaoke night with TGE. There will be an announcement on that coming soon, but first things first, we're gonna have to mirror under the correct spot for Fred's Desert Palace here. So, oh, hey, apparently we have Dark Desert Palace now.
Yep. Dark Desert Palace. As my buddy Ninnyz would say, this is the Palace of Dungeons that he's in right now.
The Palace of Dungeons. I like that.
Oh yes, most definitely. Where the dungeons just keep going on and you just can't dungeon out of everything.
The good thing about this room that Ninnyz is in is you can light a lamp to go ahead and kill your turtles here.
Yeah, and it will give you a fake light even through the next room.
That is nothing wrong with fake light. I approve of fake light. I'm sitting in a room full of it right now.
Now, it's interesting to see what Ninnyz would decide to do next here. If he goes to Skull Woods, this would be... obviously, it will be Eastern first, but then what after that would be?
Based on the information he has, Eastern Palace is definitely next.
Yep.
He has the option of doing Desert, but he probably wants to avoid that
until he can do Mire
at all costs. So Skull Woods, after Eastern, Skull Woods makes the most sense.
Yes.
Just because he doesn't want to do Desert until he can do Mire at the same time.
And now let's see what Fred does. I think he might clear, I don't know, might clear Ice.
Fred has the options of Palace of Darkness or Ice Palace. There's two left. So, I don't know.
It's going to be interesting to see what he likes to do. Depends where he flutes. It all depends on where he flutes. Oh, look! Ice Palace. Hey, are you trying to make a call on this? Saying pot is too scary?
Hey, I'm not saying that I'm afraid of the dark, but there are several lights on in my computer room right now. And I do have to agree with Jay Coper in the chat. Ice Palace of Darkness does sound absolutely amazing.
That definitely is a good one. Ice Palace of Darkness.
But my favorite thing, of course, in the Link to the Past karaoke edition is you gotta love that turtle rock and roll.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, absolutely.
Now this is going to be an interesting play because we know the big key was still somewhat farther in pod, depending on which direction Fred goes, and what Ninny does after it. It's still going to be a pretty tight race here.
And that's one of my favorite things to see there is the spin speed in the dungeon.
Oh yeah. One of the places you can do it is definitely Eastern. It does have those steps for you. So actually it was smart of Ninnyz because at that time when he didn't have the fire source, he knew, oh, I didn't have to finish Hera. I have no other way.
And again, there is the downgrade.
Yep.
Yes, but we can only do the Easter Palace one Sunday a year.
Hmm.
And then again, you can only do the Easter Palace one Sunday a year as long as you promise to only do it in Super Bunny mode.
Someone says next slide, please.
No, we'll get to the next slide, but first we have to make sure everybody in the office is there for the meeting. So get everybody, go back to the office, tell everybody there's going to be free pizza in the meeting room, and then we'll move on to the next slide.
Oh, looks like both players will be entering a boss battle probably around the same time.
True, but I think Ninnyz is going to take a little bit less time because Armos Knights are a little bit easier with silvers than Cold Stare is.
Yeah.
Yep, so Ninnyz is going to go ahead and finish the boss battle gauntlet first. And Fred's going to take one of the delicious little cotton candy puffs, 2 of the delicious little cotton candy puffs, and all 3 of the delicious little cotton candy puffs.
Yep. And then he's gonna flute. Depending on where he flutes, we might know where he's gonna go next. Oh,
Looks like he's doing desert.
You might look at the spark cave here because he didn't check that chest earlier because he didn't have the moon pearl at the time.
Yeah. I love how the PowerPoint presentation over on Fred's side, we get PowerPoint dungeons, but yet we have the full-on, 10-second real media clip when it comes to the boss battles.
And then he's gonna discover his lamp over here, and he's gonna be like, "Ah, I didn't have to do dark navigation at all." But he's definitely gonna finish Desert Palace because he's just gonna finish around checking around here. He could do it, so he's like, "Okay." One last check.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and pick up the. Nope, we won't pick up the Pizza Hut. We'll just say, nope, I don't feel like playing checkers today.
Yeah, and he's definitely going to make the play to finish Desert Palace. I'm thinking he'll definitely also make the play to then do Skull Woods after because you could do it. There's no point of not doing it.
Right, well, at this point, Candace Samaria is required to defeat Misery Mire. After taking out Desert Palace here, Ninnyz has the option of Skull Woods, which he knows he can complete.
Yep.
Misery Mire is the other crystal dungeon. If Skull Woods doesn't have the Cane of Samaria, you're left with Cane of Samaria being in Misery Mire, which, is the best case scenario of what you're thinking, or Cane of Samaria in Swamp Palace, or Tower of Hera, which is worst case scenario. It can't be in Turtle Rock because you need the Cane of Samaria immediately to get through there.
Yeah. And I'd say he's going to definitely go into Skull after this because it makes no sense to look into a place where you can finish. Not sure you can finish, yeah.
Yeah, but the big difference here is Ninnyz taking the gamble on Ice Palace, which at the time, I was like, okay, I like the gamble. Turned out to be an incorrect gamble, but at the time, could have proved a good idea. That allowed Fred to take the lead when he went and did Skull Woods and found the Cane of Samaria, allowing him to do Desert Palace and Misery Mire. The other thing that allows him to do is Fred doesn't need any items here, so as soon as he finds the big key in the far basement levels of Palace of Darkness, he is just in, let's get the heck on out of dodge mode. And ooh, Fred falling down the hole.
Yep, missed that bonk strat.
Oh, these bumper beetles are bonking him pretty well.
Yeah. And looks like Ninnyz is going to go to Skull Woods, so this should put him into go mode once he completes it. I'm pretty sure he's going to definitely look for that last chest there.
Oh, absolutely, because he still has items to find. So by going ahead and doing go mode, he is perfectly capable. By going ahead and doing Skull Woods, he's going to go through it the same way you saw Fred do. He's going to come back and pick up that, as Fred hits the big key, going to come back and pick up the Cane of Samaria chest after defeating Mothula, more than likely.
Yeah.
But I do just want to point out, though, that this race, as we said, is being brought to you by Microsoft PowerPoint. The races we have coming up for you tomorrow night, those are going to be brought to you by Microsoft Access. Where you hopefully have access to all of the dungeons.
And what about MS Ganon? That's true.
That's a good one. I like that. So my question here is, at what point does chat rebel over all the puns?
Well, they never rebel over the puns because Cross always does them all the time. And he's still off and kicking.
Yeah, true. Now we're getting into all the Microsoft Office products here. You guys are great. You guys are great. Of course, the best part about this is we're talking about all these Microsoft Office products, and we forgot the biggest oxymoron of them all. You know, Microsoft Works.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the fun thing for Fred here is going ahead and he'll be able to off Helmasaur King very easily. Once he knocks the helmet off, 1 silver arrow to the gem in the middle of Helmasaur King's head, and that is bye-bye dinosaur.
Yep. Bye-bye dinosaur. And it looks like Ninnyz is about to go into the battle here. Another boss battle at the same time.
Yep, and there's the silver arrows for Fred, and 1 silver arrow takes out the Helmasaur King, and I love how you can grab the spikes afterward. It's one of my favorite things. And we get some red rupees, and that is going to be the final crystal that Fred needs to do. He is heading to Ganon's Tower at the 1 hour and 11-minute mark.
Oh, yeah. And we like to ask chat, how many chests it's going to take for Fred to find that big key?
Well, I go with the same number every time. So chest number 16 is the one I always go with. We are going to stay with chest number 16. But Ninnyz is now going to go ahead and re-enter back into Skullwoods. He's going to be very happy with this re-entry, though, because it's going to be all of the cane that he needs. Fred making a quick stop by the witch's hut to pick up some blue juice. And we're back on PowerPoint struts again. However, I do like the fact that the way the screen transition, it looks like we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We look like we have 12 crystals as opposed to 7. So that's always fun. So this portion of the stream is going to be brought to you by Ganon's Tower Blackout Edition. It is the special edition made by the Mattel Company strictly for the Link to the Past Randomizer tournament. You can order the home copy today. Go ahead and go to the Speed Gaming website, and they will help you with all of your inquiries.
And it looks like we can see him heading into Ganon's Tower pretty soon, and Ninnyz is on his way through Mystery Mire. Let's see if he uses any cool strats today.
Well, the one thing we can guarantee is we're going to take a couple of bets here. We've already talked about the gamble chest for Big Key. But the other thing is, Fred, as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Fred likes to play games with the validation chest. We've seen him bomb it. We've seen him hammer it. So after we find the big key, I'm going to have everybody in chat think of what you're going to do. Think of what Fred is going to do to the validation chest.
That's a good question. What will Fred do this time?
I like the answer of open it. You know, the way Fred's been playing, opening the chest would be probably the best thing he could do to troll everybody.
He might open it, that's true. But there's a lot of other options still.
And so far, 1, 2, and 3 are not going to be. Chest 4, just a nice little small key. Chest 5, another small key. Chest 6, another small key. Can't you use the alchemy pot to create 4 small keys into the big key and be good?
And look at that. That was a quick big key. So we'll be seeing Ninnyz head into victories very soon here. Let's see if this is the big key. No, no big key for fcoughlin yet. Now, if chat's keeping in track here, you should know how many chests we have so far, right?
And keep in mind, the item on top of the pillar does count, so that would be number 8.
Yeah, that would be number 8. Keep that in mind. So we still got quite a few. Bob chest is still alive. Your number 16 is still alive.
Yeah.
It's not 9.
It is not 9. I see someone being the trolliest of trolls, opting for the tile room.
Oh my goodness. Tile room. Now we're back in the teleport room here. 4 more chests.
We got the arrows. Map at 13, and they single arrow. My favorite chest in the game at number 14.
Bob chest still alive, everybody.
Which means, hey, we're going to be seeing Bob soon, so get your high Bobs ready.
Yep, get high Bob ready.
And we also have more silver vitreous fights.
One more for Ninnyz. There you go.
Ooh, Fred, looks like he's going to have to take the normal path here.
Well, yeah, he might, or he might reset. Depends on what he wants to do.
Ooh, this is bad.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
He's gonna
Fred's
walk.
like, nah, we're just going to reset.
Wow, he's gonna... Okay, yeah. A minute ago, he was gonna go the normal way, but looks like... Nope.
There we go. Gets it good the second time. There's Bob. Hi, Bob.
And then Bob's gonna get killed and morphed into the other Bob on the left side.
More Bob. Alright, here we go. Armmost Night's coming up. Are we going to have... Here's the thing here right now, is depending on where this chest is, if Ninnyz goes right side gamble and the chest is on the right side, we still have a race here.
Yeah, that's true. But I still think Fred might be in the lead here still because he's going to be able to check it first.
No.
Nope,
hey,
it wasn't.
You know what chest number that was? That was chest 16 right there.
Yes,
I'm a
it
psychic
was.
dentist. I've called 3 things. I've gotten all 3 correct. Moon Pearl and Eastern, Blind's Pizza Joke, and chest number 16 being the key.
Yes,
wow.
It was. Chest 16.
now the chat can definitely call me a witch at this point.
Confirmed commentator witch here.
Yep. Yes, but if anyone's met me, you'll know I'm a large Irishman, so the only type of witch I am is a sandwich. Alright, well, chat's calling me out to do the validation chest. What's Fred gonna do to the validation chest?
Yes. Now we gotta know. What do you think Fred's gonna do to the validation chest?
Cane of Samaria.
Cane of Samaria. Oh, that'll be interesting. Interesting indeed. They did hammer it last time, so...
Yep, I've seen him hammer it, I've seen him bomb it. I'm gonna go Cane of Samaria.
Interesting choice. Interesting choice indeed.
Hey, if I get that one right, I'm going to buy a lottery ticket. I'm not going to lie. So if after tonight you never hear from me again, I won that lottery ticket. And I'll be sipping, you know, fruity tropical drinks out of a coconut on my own personal island.
Now this definitely was the right play by Ninnyz going left side, so we know it because the big key was on this side. But technically you could have gone both ways to get there. In a roundabout way.
Yeah, both sides do sync up to the Armos Knights eventually.
Yeah. Let's see how he does land on list 2 here.
Landmo is 2 opting to get the better of Fred right now. Yeah, and the interesting thing about this right now is we're only an hour and 20 minutes in. Ninnyz probably has to think he's doing pretty good right now. An hour and 20 in Ganon's Tower. The only problem is Fred got here 10 minutes ago.
Very true. Very, very true. But this should be a great time for both players.
Yeah, this is one of those things where the winning time, the losing time is going to be like, I can't believe I lost with that.
Yeah, they didn't really make waste of any time too much. It was just pretty good. It's like they kind of checked what they could do, and then they just went out when they couldn't.
Thanks, so Fred going to go ahead and utilize his quarter magic fire rod here to light the 4 torches in the spinning fire bar room. Gotta love the references to Mario.
Oh yes. So, we're just pretty much guessing now, what is Fred gonna do with the validation chest? And it's going to be coming up soon.
I've already filed my shot. I've already called my shot. We're going Cane of Samaria.
Cane of Samaria. You heard it, folks.
For the record, if it is Cane of Samaria, someone needs to go through and take all 4 of the snippets of me calling everything out and put them into one compilation.
I think there might be something special. They might even just, I don't know. Depending on what item he does, this is going to come up right here now. Moment of truth.
Yeah, ooh, Moldorm being like, come here, you look tasty, I want you, come here.
Moldorm's disagreeing with this validation here.
Moldorm saying all kinds of nope here.
Alright, let's see what he does. He's taking out an item. It's the
fire rod. Okay, not quite 4 for 4. Fire rod. We have fire rodded the validation chest. It's still a red rod, just not the correct red rod.
That would have been my pick. I do love using fire rod, especially with quarter magic. Why not?
Hey, when all else fails, use fire rod.
Yep. And Jay Coper gets that win.
Adirondack Rick, I owe Jay Coper no money. I made no bets with him.
And looks like Ninnyz making his way up here. He's got everything he needs. 3 keys, plenty. Let's see how well this Aga 2 fight goes for Fred. Oh, look at that. Still got 1. Oh, almost got 2 there. And Fred grabs the wall.
As the Bacon Lord himself, Ganon, going to rise up out of the defeated carcass of Agahnim 2 and fly off, channeling his inner Meatloaf, flying off like a bat out of hell, to make his way back to the pyramid for our one last final Swag Duck sighting here.
Looks like Fiesel knew all the answers ahead of time, so that's why he didn't guess. And of course, Swag Duck saves the day once again, getting you all the way back to the pyramid.
As Ninnyz is slowly making his way through what I like to call Cannonball Run.
Oh, yes, use that fire rod. And looks like Fred's in phase 2.
Using the hookshot invulnerability strat to avoid being hit by Ganon's fireballs.
Keep in mind, he does have a fairy, if I recall, but he's going to use the...
He also has goop.
Potion. Yeah.
He also has the green goop from earlier, if I recall correctly.
Yep. Yeah, he does. Now, Ninny's going to powder this bunny changer. Oh, they missed it.
You missed it. Buddy! One more bunny!
Oh, facing the wrong direction.
Yep. One more bunny. One more bunny. Such a cute little bunny is here.
Poor Ninnyz. I'm sure he did a little bunny dance for us on purpose for that reason.
Oh, probably.
Oh, look at that!
Is that a double kill?
With one silver arrow. Very nice.
Yep. But would you dare say that with Ninnyz getting bunny there, that he was hopping mad?
I would say he was pretty happy about that one.
Fred gonna go ahead and get 1 silver.
Yep.
Gonna miss Ganon here. Good thing is we have plenty of magic here to take care of these torches.
Yeah. It definitely was. 2 more with the price of
Fred
one.
trying to get the triple and does manage to get the silver off right before the lamp is going to do it, or is going to go out. So that's going to be it for Fred. He is going to come in with a sub 130 time. What an extremely fast seed here. This is incredible for Fred. Going to come in and done here in the IRC with an official time of 1 hour, 26 minutes, and 23 seconds. Wow, indeed.
And if you haven't yet, make sure to give both these runners a follow.
Please do indeed. Also, we have one other thing to guess at. What is in the pedestal?
Oh, yeah, that's true. They never did go to the pedestal.
And you also have your bonk counts coming in.
That's true. Oh, look! Ninnyz! Nope. Not even. Just skip that chest.
Alright, but for those of you who are wondering the upcoming schedule here, there is no more races tonight here for the Link to the Past Randomizer tournament. We have got one race scheduled for you tomorrow, and that is going to be yet another Game 3 for Fat Homie 666 and Parisian Player. That is going to be tomorrow evening at 9 p.m. I do not know where that is going to be taking place, but we do have that scheduled for you tomorrow for the Link to the Past Randomizer tournament.
Ooh. He's going to go for a 2 here. This is great pattern, though.
And from what I'm seeing tomorrow, the only other thing we have got scheduled here on Speed Gaming coming up is, or for today at this point, we have got from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m., we have got Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Beta Quest.
Ooh. Now that does sound fun.
That is lots of fun. If you've never seen Beta Quest, definitely something worth tuning in for. And with that, we have got Fred joining us here in the call. Congratulations, sir.
Yeah.
What an amazing time.
Thanks. Woo! Still shaking.
We can tell now. We can definitely tell. This was a close one for sure. Ninnyz is your opponent's just about to finish off Ganon himself here.
Yeah, I felt like I was a quick seed there, and I felt, like I took a lot of early bad turns, so figured he was probably really close, if not ahead of me most of the time there, so...
Actually, for the first half hour of the seed, you guys were basically in sync screen for screen. The difference was where you opted to go to Skull Woods and pick up the Cane of Samaria. He opted at that point to go try Ice Palace because he had everything for it.
It's a tough play. I mean, that definitely bit us, I think, on both of our first two races. First chest in the Ice Palace had the thing we needed to finish the race, so...
Yep, so is that your PB for you, Fred?
Yeah, for casual type races, yeah, that's a 13-minute PB apparently.
Ooh, very nice.
And Ninnyz is going to go ahead and finish up here, just about 4 minutes behind Fred. As you can see, these swords sticking up overhead. That's going to be a time, SRL-wise here, of 1 hour, 30 minutes, and 43 seconds.
A very good time.
Yeah, very good time for both of these runners. We got a sub 130 and an effective 130, a sub 131. Here, both of these runs very, very good.
Yeah, let's see if we can pull Ninnyz in because he's about finished here.
So, Fred, one more question I do want to ask you here. When you first time you get to Dark World, you pause your menu and you see that pendant blinking back from you at Turtle Rock. Is that the best thing you can see when you go to Dark World?
Definitely one of the best ones. I definitely looked at that. I spent a long time looking at that menu just because I was having issues processing where everything was at that point. I was expecting, maybe one pendant and just seeing two of them, especially with Turtle Rock being one of them. And then Swamp being the other. That one scared me actually because I was like, okay, that's generally a high concentration of chests, like a great one to check out. Time consuming, but you're likely to get something out of there. So I was afraid that was going to be have to go into a pendant dungeon for that.
Yeah, especially with Swamp Palace being the green pendant too.
Yeah, no, that's definitely scary. Although I actually miswrote that down in my notes, so I might have even weighed that play slightly higher if I'd gotten to the point where I needed to make a decision there.
All right, so we just pulled in Ninnyz. Hey, Ninnyz, congratulations as well.
Thank you. Congratulations to Fred who's moving on.
Thank you. That was an incredible race, sir. I mean, those were both pretty darn awesome times that we were able to pull off there.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think, I saw the seed. I didn't want to go into Eastern, which had the Moon Pearl, which would have skipped, Aga, I believe. Oh no, wait, no. Oh yeah, wouldn't you have had still done Aga?
I don't remember because I'm trying to remember where everything was. Hype Cave had the hammer, right? Dark World Hype Cave?
Yeah. You technically could have skipped Aga if you wanted to.
Probably could have. I didn't skip Aga. I also went for it as well once I got I didn't go into I didn't go into Eastern right away. I went through Agahnim, discovered, oh yeah, that actually didn't do anything for me, but I said, well, maybe the portal will help out, and then eventually all my options ran out and I knew something had to be in Eastern there.
Yeah, same here. Man, what a seed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the difference was when Ninnyz went to Ice Palace, as we were mentioning earlier, Fred went into do Skull Woods instead.
Yeah, so I guess the question I want to ask Ninnyz is, at that point, what was your thought process choosing to go into Ice Palace?
I mean, I had the hammer, I had the bombos, I had access to it. I was going to go ahead and just run through it. I wasn't trying to let, previous, the two previous races, which actually had a important item in ice, influence my decision. But after getting all the items that I needed from the Hype Cave, I even wrote down which locations were pendants for me, just in case that we didn't have to continue to open up the map this time. But yeah, I still did the sequence for Swamp Palace, and it was only after I got in there for a second, I was like, oh wait, no, this is a pendant, and I left immediately, and I went straight to Ice Palace. I mean, I knew I could handle it without the Fire Rod. I knew I had bombos, and I mean, Tempered Sword and Red Mail is more than enough protection that you need from Cold Stare.
Oh, fair enough, fair enough. So I guess the next question is, getting down to the end of it, you have Skullwoods and Misery Mire left. What was your reaction when the last possible chest in Skullwoods held the Cane of Samari?
I mean, it was my my route was going to be go back in there, check that chest. If it wasn't there, mirror, check pedestal, and then. Oh no! Wait, no, it wouldn't. Yeah, well, I would have done it anyway, and then I would have gone to do the big chest because I didn't do that one either, and that one still had an item as well. But I mean, as soon as I saw that Cane of Samaria, I knew I was in go mode, and just quickly heading over to Mire was like the easiest decision in my mind.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That makes sense. That makes sense. So, Fred, sir, you are moving on to the next round, and you are going to be playing, going up against N4H in round 2. What are your thoughts going into the next round?
Hope to at least force a game 3. It's probably the best I'm going to pull off. I mean, I've already been on borrowed time, I feel like, in this tournament, so just got to hope for a miracle, or 2, actually, would be the ideal, but hope to at least get 1 there to try to push through. It's going to be tough. He's a really solid opponent. You know, he knows the game like the back of his hand, so it's going to require, you know, near perfect play and a ton of luck to get through that. So just going to do my best.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. So that is all the questions that I have. Haye?
That's one thing I'm going to say is this, then, because I have my friend Kenny always asks us this. What did you learn from today's race, though, that is going to help you carry over into your next race? And I would say the same for Ninnyz as well, but I'll let you answer first, Fred.
It's a tough one. I mean, pretty much I feel like I was able to get some good play in there. I think I made some decent routing decisions, although there were still a couple of things that I questioned, you know, especially when I didn't dig into Eastern before Agahnim, you know, that potentially could have cost a couple of minutes. Well, whatever time it takes to go through there. So, I mean, with the it all depends too on what the logic ends up being in the next round. I feel like, you know, there's a significant change if the remaining players vote version 19 over 18. I think it's still going to be 18. I think there's too many people left in the tournament. But basically, it just, you know, a lot of this race helped me reconfirm those things of you have to make sure that you check, you know, all your chains reasonably quickly. Death Mountain's huge. And just, you know, re-emphasize that, I think.
Oh, yes, and you definitely learned that Flute doesn't get you the mushroom item with one transition.
That was an accident, actually. I was in the I was just hammering, mashing Y for that to hand the mushroom over. Apparently, then started playing the flute as I was trying to walk off screen. Got picked up and said, "Well, you know what? Let me at least try it." Didn't work, but I was like, I didn't know if it was going to work or not, and I said, better safe than sorry.
Oh, yes. All right, Ninnyz, what about you? Same question about what did you learn from today that will carry you forward in the future from today's match?
Definitely, like, as soon as I had the hook shot, the Titan's Mint, and the Moon Pearl, I thought about heading back up to Death Mountain really quick, but doing the pod Eastern section and just kind of like start clearing out dungeons was a little bit more of a priority in my mind. But yeah, I mean, actually, well, no. Like, instead of doing Ice Palace, I should have mirrored up and headed out to Death Mountain. It would have made a little bit more of a difference. Would have had the Fire Rod, less animations with the bombos, and then would have had more of a solid route going into this. But, I mean, I had fun. I had fun in this tournament, and I mean, while I'm sad to go, I'm excited to get back to the speedrun categories for this game. Take a break from Randomizer. Been working my butt off.
Yes.
Yeah, you played incredibly well all three of these games, sir. It was incredibly close. I mean, I look forward to watching you get back to any percent. I'm still would love to try to get into that category at some point here too.
Well, I can't wait to see you on the leaderboards. I'm sure I'll have my time or be close to or beating my time anytime soon here with the way you're doing these randomizers, my friend.
Well, thank you.
And I have to speak on behalf of Kevin. He's really proud of you, Ninnyz.
Thanks, Kevin.
And looks like that's it for us today. Unless anyone else has anything else to say or anything to add. Hope everyone has a great night. Thanks for showing up for this tournament. I know we have exciting races tomorrow coming up, so get ready for that. But until then, see you guys next mission. And I'll let Greenleaf take the final word say here for everybody.
Yeah, and before that, please make sure, if you haven't done so already, to follow both of our runners here, twitch.tv/fcoughlin and twitch.tv/Ninnyz. You can go ahead and follow us too if you want. Hi A408, I am the Greenleaf Effect. I'm not telling you to sell out, I'm telling you to buy in. And of course, by all means, make sure you hit follow on both here and Speed Gaming too, and show some love to our wonderful tech person behind the scenes, Fiesel. So, as was already said, on behalf of everybody here, thank you all for watching, and I am the Greenleaf Effect, reminding everybody to keep hailing. Good night.